Hello everybody, I'm idatheone and welcome back to my renovating Newcrest series. Today we're in the housing district of my Newcrest save file, and you can see this is the second house I'm building in this neighborhood. I'm not showing everything I'm building here because I want to do a big tour at the end, and I want to save some of the builds for that. Also, I don't think house builds are the most interesting thing. But if you disagree, you can let me know in the comments down below and I'll show you some more of these houses. I think the community lots are just a bit more fun because they're a lot more different. But this house specifically has so much personality. The goal for this build was to build the most cluttered family home ever. I'd seen someone else post about it on Discord and I thought it looked really cute. So I just wanted to make a house with so much decor, stuff everywhere, really make it feel lived in. I rarely do those types of builds because I'm also playing in these houses and I want them to function well. This one still functions, you can totally play in it, but there's just so much clutter in it. You can see it in a bit and it's very busy. I use all sorts of different pattern wallpapers and I wanted it to feel like the people who live here bought the furniture because they liked how it looked, not that it would fit in with the rest of the house or the theme they were going for. So you'll see a lot of mismatchy things in here. Right now I'm doing the exterior. I was struggling a lot with deciding what color to use. I really wanted to make a yellow house, and there are also some yellow houses in this neighborhood, so I went for it. I think it looks, I don't know, a bit out of place, but maybe it's just because I haven't built any of the other houses in this neighborhood. I think once we get the entire street done, it'll look a lot better. I also think what really threw me off with this build is that the one left of it is very fancy. I built it for a super rich family. Everything on the inside is very tailored. It kind of looks like a furniture magazine where they have a fully designed house. Everything really matches. There's no clutter anywhere. Very tailored, clean aesthetic. And then in contrast to this one that's very homey and lived in, next to it was just really funny, and I had gone directly from building that one to this one. So I think that's what was putting me off a bit. I feel like the street will look very nice in the end, and I'm so excited to see the finished result. I actually haven't built any of the other lots yet. I have made one of the families who are gonna live here, so that's the one I'm gonna work on next. But in this area we're gonna have 4 houses total and then a playground at the end, because I really want to add a playground lot somewhere in my world, since that's a new lot type that everyone has access to with one of the most recent updates. Now we're finally moving inside the build, and you can see what I meant by the wallpaper being very patterned and busy compared to my other builds that I usually do. But it was so much fun finding wallpaper that fit the different personalities of the children in this family. It consists of a mother who's a nurse and a dad who is a restaurant owner. He's gonna own the restaurant in one of the other neighborhoods. They have 2 teens, 1 child, and 1 toddler in this family. And I'll tell you a bit more about their personalities when we get to their rooms, I think. And the wallpaper actually really excited me about this build because usually I tend to just put the painted walls. Sometimes I'll have a color on them, otherwise I'll just leave them blank and not really use any wallpaper. I think it's because I grew up in a house with mainly just white walls. Sometimes I'd have an accent wall in my bedroom, so I'm not really used to having wallpaper. But my Pinterest mood boards for house decor are all filled with the prettiest, most detailed wallpaper everywhere. So this was my chance to put wallpaper everywhere and just don't think about how busy it will look with everything else in there. Actually, growing up in my childhood bedroom, my dad would paint cartoon characters on the walls. So I had one of Baba Papa, if any of you guys know it. He's a big pink guy. You can look it up if you like. My little brother had a huge koi fish as well, and then in their dining room, which is still there, they have a huge Cos figure on the wall too. So we didn't have any wallpaper or painted walls, but we had these huge cartoon character or other different types of figures painted on the walls. It's pretty cool. Once I grew up, I think it was about 19, my brother and I switched bedrooms and we finally got to decide what color our walls should be. So I had a dark green accent wall, and then all my furniture in there was a pastel pink, and I really loved that. that room. I'm so sad I moved out. But the color palette was to die for. But let's talk a bit more about the build. I think you can finally get a sense of what I'm going for style-wise in this house. It is really just cluttered and putting a bunch of color and everything in here. You can see that in the entrance. It's like very crowded, stuff everywhere. And now we're moving on to the living room. And I really wanted to make this feel like a family place. So we have like the kids' art projects on the wall and like different crochet things and these embroidery hoops, as well as a place to play chess. We got like shelves stocked up with like kids DIY projects and other clutter items. I really feel like the vibes in here are so nice and homey. I want to visit this family and like stay over for a slumber party. But I feel like this type of house too will like birth children who will be very minimalist in their interior design. I feel like that's what we've been seeing with the millennial gray people, where they have like no clutter at all, no colors, just white and gray and maybe beige too, because they lived in houses where their parents just had clutter everywhere. But I really like doing these shelves. For example, we have little daruma, so maybe they went to Mount Komorebi for a family trip. We have these like old paintings, so maybe they've inherited a lot of their furniture from old family members, so they can bring those along to furnish their new house. Moving on to the dining room, I wanted to add these mismatched chairs because I think they're so cute. I also added like a basket with a bunch of blankets if you're getting cold while you're eating. There's a fireplace and just a ton of decor in here to make it feel very lived in. But so much of this build was just spent with me scrolling through the decor catalog. You can see it right here, trying to find all these different items. I did discover some new ones that I've like never seen, or I have seen them before, I just forgot they exist, or like I never use them. For example, that like corner plate storage item, like I never use that at all. Here I'm just putting a bunch of rugs in. I like put them at an off angle. I kind of wanted to do that with the living room carpet, but because I just had it slightly off center, it annoyed me so much, and I thought it would annoy some of you too, so I put that one straight on. But I think in the dining room, where it's a bit more intentional, it's okay. Moving on to the kitchen. While I was doing the layout for this build and also furnishing the kitchen, I was like, should I have made it bigger and more professional looking, since the dad is a restaurant owner and probably also a good chef? But I decided on not to and make it a more like a family kitchen, because I think we should distinguish from like the professional work and the professional style kitchen as well as the family one. And a lot of houses, you just have like this galley style kitchen. It comes with whatever you get. So maybe they didn't have money to renovate it and they've just made it their own, and I think that's really cute. There's a lot of like very nice clutter in here, very like family decor. There's a bread basket that the kids have painted on, and I think it's so cute. It's the one from Parenthood, if you don't know of it. It's just so cute. A lot of the items from Parenthood I used in this build, as well as that curfew board where you can also leave notes on, because I thought that would be good for gameplay if you decide to play with this family. If any of you download this world when it comes out and play with the families, I'd love to see your updates and hear about how it went. Here we're just making a bathroom, again very like colorful, family oriented. This is like the main bathroom that guests will also use when they visit, so I tried to make it a bit more tidy and fancy compared to the others. So I had like these dried flowers in there, a bunch of different hand soaps and stuff. But now we're actually moving on to the teen bedrooms. The first one is for the second eldest, who's a teen boy. He's really into painting and outdoor stuff, so I'm thinking he's probably like a plein air sketcher, loves to do landscape paintings, and he's just really cool. So I wanted this room to feel very naturey, lots of different wood tones in here, but also super cluttered with all of his different art supplies, which the Artist Studio kit really helped with. I love that kit. There was a long time where I didn't buy any of the kits, but then I finally got this one and I like love it to death. I think it's because personally I'm also an artist and I have so many art supplies, so I really just love it. Speaking of kits, so I've stopped completely like purchasing any Sims 4 content because of the EA deal and also their use of AI now. So I just want to give you guys a heads up that I won't be doing any further pack content before we know more about the deal, and hopefully it doesn't go through. I don't think think that's possible, but that's a decision I personally made because I don't want to support them anymore. Which is kind of sad because the new kits do seem really cool, and I'm sorry for the creators who made it, but personal decision. Also, they don't really make that much money off of the kits anyway. I'd rather go support them on their own Patreons and stuff, because that way you know the money goes directly to those people instead of the big bosses at EA. I laugh about it, but it is really sad to see what is happening to a game you love that much, like The Sims 4, but that's how it is now, and I've made my decision on what to do with it. Now we're moving on to the teen girl bedroom. She is like a popular kid, I would describe her as. Not popular in the sense of like a mean girl, but in the sense that she's very well liked, but she's also pretty like cool and stylish. She also plays the guitar, and I think she would be in a band if we had bands in The Sims 4. So that's kind of the vibe I was going for in here. While I was building most of this house, I was actually listening to like the Smosh Reddit stories, and it's so funny. I remember each and every story while looking back at this speed build now. Like right now they're talking about a wedding where a girl was invited to it, but she was not a part of the whole ceremony. If you watch the Reddit stories one, and I know some of you do because I can see what videos people watch before they click on my video. So if you know which Reddit story I'm talking about, please comment down below. That's so funny. But this room is like very pastel themed, lots of different colors in it, but all like a bit more muted and bright. Here I'm just putting in a bunch of posters. I love adding those because it gives the build so much personality, and you can like see what the characters are interested in looking through it. But now we're moving on upstairs. This room that's right next to the stairs, I was debating on what to do with it because I was thinking maybe turning it into a guest bedroom, but there's so many bedrooms in here already, so I ended up making it like a home library. Also, there are no windows in that room technically. There's a big door that has huge windows, but no like actual windows in there. So that's what I decided to do with it, and then make it a bit more open plan with the rest of like the hallway here. Hallways can be a bit difficult to furnish because you don't want to make them too tight, but I also want some like visual interest in here. So I ended up putting a bunch of like bookshelves, shelves, and side tables just to fill it up a bit and be able to add more clutter in there, so it was not as plain as a normal build and also fit in with the rest of this house. So that was a lot of fun doing. Also made sure to add a bunch of mismatched furniture. There's a games table in there so you can sit and play Jenga or do a puzzle. I think that's a lot of fun. It's good to have a bunch of family activities for your Sims in here. And this is a perfect opportunity to talk about one of my build tricks. It's when you do shelves and want to put clutter on them. I usually use these cubes. They come in a bunch of different packs, and just put clutter on them and then drag it out to the shelf so I can custom place it instead of having it to slot on the normal spots that are on the shelf, because sometimes it's not as tight as I want it to be and doesn't look as cluttered as you want it. So it's a good way of customizing it a bit more easily. Instead of having to place stuff on all of the spots that they can slot into, you can just drag it out there by technically placing them on the floor. It doesn't really make sense. I'll show you guys it one day if I build something in real time. But here I'm working on that home library. I didn't want to make it an office. I do that in a lot of my builds, but I didn't think it makes sense with the occupations of this family. I did put a desk and a computer in there, so it's kind of like a family computer room if you want to do some studying, but it's not someone's private office in there. So that way it's like more family oriented. Here we're moving on to the child bedroom. This girl, she loves the outdoors. She wants to do like the butterfly collections and camping. She's probably also a scout as well. So that's like the vibe I was channeling in here. Just lots of nature patterns, animals everywhere. I love doing this room. It was so much fun. I think in general, just the kids' bedrooms are the most fun for me to do, especially in Let's Plays as well, when you're like starting to figure out their personalities and what hobbies they have. It's so much fun to just put it everywhere. And I think think the reason why is because there's so much like fun decor to put in there and you don't have to be as serious. Oftentimes my child bedrooms are a lot more cluttered than the rest of the house just because you're a kid, you're making a mess and you don't really care about cleaning everything up. So that's more of the vibe that I was going for in the entire house here. Also, I've been playing the Very Veggie Legacy Challenge. We're currently on the squash gen. I've recorded the next episode where the squash gen goes from infant to child, and it's so much fun doing all the different bedrooms at the different stages of their life. Their theme color is yellow, so I've been doing the most yellow child bedroom ever, but it's really cute, so much fun. I love doing themed child bedrooms too. Now we're working on the outside balcony. I just wanted to put like a hangout spot in here and some gardening equipment. Maybe the kid who lives up in this bedroom likes to do some gardening. Maybe they're growing their own tomatoes and stuff, so I think that would be really cute if we had some stuff out there. Next up, I wanted some flowers to hang over this terrace part, and it was a bit difficult because ever since Enchanted by Nature, they updated it so that the flowers will slot to the roof itself. So I had to drag it all the way back and also adjust the fences because you can see them like clipping through the roof before. So I had to drag them back, but I had to delete the floor underneath some of them. It was just really difficult with the new update. This used to be so easy, but it's just made it so much harder. I wish they could figure out a way to solve it in a more easy way, but it's okay for now. I managed to figure out how to do it in the way I wanted to. Right now, we're building the bedroom for the parents. And this one is also like just very random. I just threw a bunch of stuff in there that doesn't really go together. There's also a treadmill and another desk in there. I feel like they had this corner, didn't really know what to do with it, and just put some useful items in there that they needed to put somewhere else anyway. So that's kind of the vibe for the parents' bedroom. It went by really fast because there isn't that much clutter in them, but I think it turned out very nice and shows off the personality of the parents anyway. And now we move on to the final bedroom of this build. It's for the toddler. Toddlers don't have that much of a personality in The Sims, so I just made this one really like dinosaurs. I put a bunch of dinosaur stuff in there. And then mixed it up with just some generic child things as well, because at least my parents would save all the things that they got for me as a kid and then use it for my siblings when they were that age. So they'd like save all the stuff. And I feel like that's very normal to do. So these people have just saved all the stuff from the 3 other siblings and are now using it for this new dinosaur loving toddler as well. So some of it doesn't really feel like it fits in here, but maybe that's because the other kids were using it when they were this age. So I think that's pretty cute, and I like that as like a detail in here. But that's actually it for the interior. I did cut out the 2 upstairs bathrooms just because it was a lot of the same and going back and forth. It was a bit confusing with the camera just spinning around all the time. So now we're moving on to the exterior and doing all of the gardening, which is one of my favorite parts of building. I've said that in like every single one of my videos, but if you didn't know, now you know. So for the garden, I wanted to put a bunch of stuff for the kids, make it really colorful too. So there's a place where you can play with your marbles, you can grill. The dad would probably grill a lot and you can enjoy a family dinner outside. There's also a swing set and a rocking chair, and I also added a chicken coop to their garden. I don't know how common it is in the US to have chicken, but here where I live, I definitely had some friends and classmates growing up who had chicken in their backyard. I've always lived in an apartment, so we didn't even have the chance to do it, but that's what I did here because I think it's really cute. I also had a small kitchen garden so they could grow their own fresh ingredients for food, and then I just went around with a bunch of colorful flowers. This time around, I just took them from the landscape and made it super colorful, very cluttered, and that's about it. I'll go into a tour of the build now. So here we have the fully finished house in the game. But before I tour it, I want to show you guys like the houses in the neighborhood so you can see the kind of style that I was going for. I was mainly inspired by this one over here. So that's kind of the shape I was going for with this one, whereas the neighboring house is more like that one over there. first let me show you the exterior. It just looks like this. We have a nice terrace out here, the backyard. Let me just go down here so you can see it. We have the chicken coop right over here as well as the kitchen garden. But let's move back to the front entrance. One thing I decided to do for this neighborhood is that all of them have these matching garbage cans as well as this mailbox here, but in different colors. So this one I chose like a colorful flower theme for it. I never really put wreaths on the front doors, but I decided to do it for this build and I think it fits really well. I think it's so cute. In here is the entrance, and I didn't really get to talk about it much, but as you can see, there's just a bunch of clutter everywhere. You also got this height measurement thing. I had that growing up, so I wanted to put it here. Have a little mirror and a cushion to sit on. In here is the living room. I think it's so cozy in here. And of course we have books, board games, candles everywhere. Up here we even have like some video games. This painting is the TV. I really like that it actually fits in with the colorful vibe when it's turned off. Over here's that chess table with the cute decor on. And just a bunch of wall decor. Let me go in here, which is that first bathroom that I decorated. It's so colorful in here, but I really like the shower curtain on there with the flowers, super cute. Going over here is the dining room with those mismatching chairs, so cute. As well as these flowers, which I really thought brought it all together. In here is the kitchen. Just a bunch of stuff everywhere, like drawings on the fridge and magnets. We have a lunchbox out, as well as this bread basket that I was talking about, and the cereal. And over here is that curfew board as well. Let's go back this way again. So back by the entrance, if you go through this door, is where that first teen bedroom is. It's filled with art supplies everywhere and posters. I really like this wallpaper. It gives that nature cabin vibe here as well. If we go back out again and through here, we have the stairs that leads upstairs, but we can also go this way into the other teen bedroom. Really cute pastel vibes in here. I think it's so lovely. I really like this closet here with the stickers on. It's super cute. And of course she has her guitar to play music as well. So that's that room. Let's move up the stairs. I love this window here right by the stairs. And then we can move all the way up here. And here's where I wanted to make that open library. Also have some Thanksgiving cards up on the fireplace. Add a bunch of decor. Whoa, what's happening? Out on this balcony, there's just a sitting area and those plants I was talking about in the build. Moving back through the hallway, here are the two bathrooms that I didn't really show in the build. But this first one looks like this. We have like an elephant theme. And then the other one looks like this, a bit more narrow. We have a potty for the toddler as well, and there's a shower back here. Whoa, what is happening? Oh my gosh, I've never had this happen to me before. What? Whoa. Okay, I can't do the tour in that angle because it's just weird looking at the moment. But if you move down the hallway, there's a mirror, a bunch of clutter in here. Have that little games table here and the terrace with the telescope as well. If you move in through this door, we have the daughter's bedroom, the nature themed one. I really like this lamp here, and I also made a little jar for her to collect marbles. Just a bunch of stuff everywhere, and I used that new paper crafts set from Adventured Weights. Moving through this door over here, we have the toddler bedroom with the dinosaur theme. Oh my gosh, and they already managed to break the dollhouse. No! And then lastly, we have the parents' bedroom over here. Just a bunch of stuff everywhere. So yeah, that's it for the build. I hope you all enjoyed this speed build and are excited to see some more builds from my Renovating Newcrest series. But thank you for watching. I hope you all have an amazing day. Bye!